You're now viewing a copy of the Bourbonnais District 53 Work Habits rubric for grades 4 through 8. If you teach in grades K through 3, you should refer to the K3 document. But you can see here at the top you have your three criteria: behavior and citizenship, homework, and preparation and productivity, and a brief description of those three categories. And down in the lower level, more importantly, you have the narratives or the performance descriptors for the three areas for the three levels of 3, 2, and 1. If you notice, there is not an exceeds category that we have in the achievement side, so it's simply 1, 2, 3, with the thought that these are behaviors that we expect everybody to perform regularly, and we didn't want to spend a lot of time trying to determine the difference between a 3 and a 4. It's important you note here that there is a clear description for what is required for a 3, 2, or 1. And it's important, again, in terms of feedback and teacher clarity, that these are posted and these are discussed with your students on a regular basis so that they are fully aware of what the expectations are. I would also strongly encourage that if you assign homework, that you post that homework ahead of time in Skyward with a description. That way you're providing clear feedback and expectations to parents, so that when they see a score, that they'll be tied to specific expectations in Skyward. So that's strongly recommended. And in that description, you make it clear what that assignment is, not just a generic homework. When scoring homework, so when you're taking scores for events and turning them into a final grade, or in the case of grades 6 through 8, where you have to each week have to determine eligibility, because the work habits criteria, we expect the students to perform at a 3 level every week, because these are just basic expected behaviors. It's not a learning progression here. So when you're scoring those and looking at a final score for the week, or eventually a score for the term, we don't go by the most recent evidence criteria. This is more of a composite. So you're looking for an overall score that reflects their work in this area for the entire term, not necessarily the most recent activity. If you're struggling with that, you might consider going with the mode, which would be the number that occurs the most. So if in the sequence of 9 scores you had 6 scores that were a 3, that would be the suggested score that they get a 3. That's just a recommendation, but again, you're looking at more of a composite as opposed to most recent evidence, because we don't want a student to be well below for 6 weeks and then turn it on for 3 weeks and get a 3. So it definitely functions differently from achievement, and it'd be a good idea to talk to your mentor or an administrator if you're not sure about that.